So this is my topic, and it is transition pieces. So when I was first assigned this topic of transition pieces, the first thing I done was looked it up in the book. So I went to David Anderson's DCG Leavensart book, and I found where transition pieces were, and this is what it read. So a transition piece is one that connects differently shaped openings, differently sized openings, and differently angled openings, or any combination of these. So by different shaped openings, it means so it could be a square, a rectangle, or a circle at the bottom with a different shape on top. So it could be going from a square to a circle, or a circle to a rectangle, or etc. Differently sized openings, so could be a small square to a big square, or a small rectangle to a big rectangle, or circles, etc. And differently angled openings. So these openings can be running at a 45-degree angle, 30-degree angle, etc., or any combination of these. So in most cases, the transition piece is composed of plane surfaces and conical surfaces. So here it also says about plane surfaces and conical surfaces. So like planes would be flat surfaces, and conical surfaces would be the round ones, so the round surfaces. Transition pieces are widely used in ducting systems used in ventilation, heating, air conditioning, etc. So after reading this, I then went on to Google and searched transition pieces. And what came up was transition pieces are usually made to connect shapes, two different shaped objects. Example, round pipes to square pipes, and often found in ducting for air conditioning or dust and fume extraction systems. The development is constructed by assuming the surface to be made from a series of triangular surfaces laid side by side. So after going to Google, the first thing that came to my head, like the first real example that I thought of, would be which everyone could see that are in woodwork and metal rooms. So like we'll say if you look up to the roof or to the back of the rooms normally, um, all woodwork and metalwork rooms have have fume and dust exact have fume and dust extraction systems set up. So you can see the square. In this, you can see the square ducting go up to the circles into the pipes and so on. So also with this, Google mentions about developments. So we know we're going to be doing some sort of a development with this question, or with from when we're exploring these. It also mentions about triangular surfaces side by side, or laid side by side. So this could be triangulation or some other method like that. And then for my last bit of just the research, just to figure out what transition pieces were, I went on to T4, which is a DCG resources um, website. So it says here, so one of the key principles, a transition piece is a piece that connects two differently shaped and or sized ducts. A transition piece is developed by triangulation. So we see here different shape size openings. So like we're on about squares to rectangles and rectangles to circles and so on. And it also mentions triangulation. So triangulation is mentioned, or is going to be mentioned and explained throughout my portfolio when I'm going to be going through transition pieces. So after figuring out the definitions of what transition pieces were, I decided to Google transition pieces images. So to get an idea what we'll be looking at and what we'll be dealing with. So on the left here, we can just see it's a pipe used in ducting. So this is what you would see or something like this in our woodwork rooms and metalwork rooms. And then we have in the second picture just different types of ductings. So for A there we have a square going to a circle, then we have a circle in B going to a square, then we have angle ducting there in C and D. So there's a 45-degree one there, D going from an irregular shape to a square. And then in C is an angle, it looks like what, a 30-degree or 20-degree bottom fitting, and then it goes to a circle from there. And then in the third photo, the second one from the right hand side, is a question that we could be dealing with when we're doing transition pieces. So we can see the drawing is set up, we have a plan and an elevation. We can see the triangles for triangulation set up. Then we have a development. So that is the development of the ducting folded out. And we have an isometric of the actual ducting itself, the transition piece. They are an isometric, so we're getting a 3D view of what it looks like in our day of first. And then on the right hand side, it said that this was a transition piece. So looking at this first, I was trying to figure out how it could be a transition piece or what it was. So I looked into it more, and after also just looking at it, like I thought how it could be a large surface joined into a small surface, or did it actually have a purpose, or what was it? So looking into it, I found out that what it was or what it is a windmill. So it's used to join a windmill on top to a driven monopile on the bottom. So it's used, so where would be its wind farms out in sea. So you have your monopile at the bottom and you have your windmill on top. And this transition piece is used, so this middle piece is used to join the two together. So looking at the drawing here and what I've highlighted in the red circle, we can see it says it's labeled on the diagram, transition piece with angled surface. So this shows us that it has a large circumference at the bottom and it's moving to a smaller circumference at the top. So this is a transition piece. So this is what I found out when I went, so what is the yellow object? We found out that it actually is a transition piece. So what are other everyday transition pieces? So I've already mentioned the example, if you're looking for a transition piece, you can look at the ducted in a woodwork and metalwork rooms for the dust and fume extraction system set up there. But other real life examples would be car exhausts. So this is just one type of car exhaust. We can see we have the large cylinder shape, and it's moving to two smaller cylindrical shapes. So this is a transition piece. You'd have other ones. All cars now wouldn't have two, let's say two straight pipes. Some could have just a normal one exhaust, which would be going for, again, a large cylinder down to the one pipe. So it's a transition piece again. Then looking at the second image, which is a noodle box. So we can see here it's a transition piece as it is a small rectangle on the bottom and it goes to a large rectangle on the top, which is very much suited to this, let's say, this object or the noodle box, because as they're narrow on the bottom and wider on the top, it makes them much easier to stack. So you can stack a lot of them in a small, let's say, a short, or not taking up much space, compared to if they were just cylindrical, they wouldn't be able to stack as they wouldn't fit into each other. And then the last photo on the right hand side is a picture taken from a water park. So we have a slide and it's going from a large circumference or large circle to a smaller circle at the end. So the entry to the exit is going from a large circle to a small circle. So it is a transition piece.